Hello crafty friends, I'm Revati and welcome to my crafty space. Today's video is a live recording from my AECP class held on 20th June where we created not one but four beautiful cards using the absolutely gorgeous Sakura Blossoms Stamp Set. Now I'd love for you to join me for one of my upcoming workshops. Be sure to check out the description box and the pinned comment below for all the details on future workshops. And here's a little bonus. If you sign up early for one of my educator workshops, you receive a 20% discount code on all the supplies that you'll need, which is always a nice little perk. Now, since this is a live class recording, today's video is a bit longer than my usual tutorials. Along with all the card making techniques, you'll also get to enjoy plenty of crafty conversations, great questions, and lots of fun moments shared with my wonderful classmates. I highly recommend watching all the way to the end so you don't miss any of those tips, tricks, and techniques that come up throughout the class. I'll also be giving you a sneak peek of some of the projects that we'll be creating in future workshops, so be sure to stay tuned for that as well. One quick note before we begin, I want to apologize in advance if the audio isn't perfect in a few spots. Live class recordings can be a little unpredictable, but I have done my best to make sure the experience is as enjoyable as possible. With that being said, let's jump right in and get crafty.
So we are creating four cards.
Oh
So if you
my.
guys wanted, you could just leave the whole image and frame it up. But then if you want, you could create cards. So I'll come to that when we are done with all the stamping and ink blending. So this is the color that we will be using today. This is Carnival Magic. Is the camera good? The lighting good?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And so this is the color that I used on these cards. So I basically used cotton candy, coral red, and cherry sweet. So the first three colors, I did not use the last one, the darkest shade. I also have this color combination, which is more
Ooh.
towards the darker pink.
Wow.
And for this one, I used Bubblegum Dreams. Again, the first three shades.
Okay.
So whichever, like, if you like this particular color set, you could use Bubblegum Dreams. If you like this, you could use Carnival Magic. So I have two
You
options.
guys are making me have to buy more Altenew inks.
Yeah, so these are the two colors we have. So
Oh
whichever
boy.
you guys prefer. So I'll go with the same colors and I'll show you how I get it up. Okay. I will set these aside. Well, before we start, thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited for this class. I have never really worked with a big stamp set like this, so I was really excited. And because I got this particular stamp set, that's the only reason I have the bigger stamp wheel. Otherwise, I have had the smaller one for quite some time. So how I like to do is, now obviously the whole thing is not going to fit in this particular stamp wheel. So I'll just remove this. And what I do is I like to, so this is my Spellbinders adapter plate. I stick this here and I take the smaller sticky mat and I place it here. So it's like, it fits in perfectly.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah.
So,
Perfect.
so anything of this width, it should be like, the same width. So that'll fit in perfectly. So you don't have to struggle around. So I also have the bigger sticky mat, but I feel like, it doesn't fit in perfectly and then it's all wonky. And then when you go to double stamp it, it kind of misses it. So
Yeah.
that's the reason I like to have something outside and then this fits in perfectly. So if you don't have the adapter plate, you could stack up some cardstocks or even I feel you could even take the stencil and just place it right there. It'll, the height will be adjusted there.
Okay.
Yeah. And now the placement of this will depend on how you place your stamp. So for that, first what I'll do is I will take the whole sheet of cardstock and I will place it right here. Okay.
You're not lining it up with the bottom.
No, not yet. So I will stick it to the stamp wheel 2.0. I will stick it to that, but here I'm not yet pressing it down.
Okay.
So that I can adjust this later on where I place my stamp. I'm not yet sticking my paper or, pressing it firmly there. I'm just leaving it there. This one, I will place it firm.
Gotcha.
Now let's pull out the stamp. Ooh. So with the stamp, what I like to do, so now this part of the stamp is like a lot wider as compared to this one, right? So I like to place the wider side on a steady surface rather than the other way around. So I will
Stamps are a challenge to get
when
off
you're
the
pulling out
acetate.
your stamp, just be a little don't just rip it out, because I have seen like bigger stamps like these. When you go to rip it out, it kind of changes the shape. Especially
Distort,
since we have coordinating stencils, you don't want the shape to change. If you're just coloring it in, or if you don't have the coordinating stencils, then it's okay. But then if you have like a coordinating stencil or a die, it's always better to be very gentle and so just slide your hand in and peel it out. So this is the same with the arched foliage set also, which is like a big arch of those leaves. So that kind of changed its shape. So that's where I learned, you're not supposed to just pull it out. All right. So my paper here is firmly stuck to the stamp wheel and it's still not on this. For that, what I'll do is I will and just lay it flat, don't try to manipulate it, just lay it as is, and then we can press it down. So here I have. So I know this part needs a little more of that stamp, the ultra sticky mat there. So I will place it right here. And this is how, now I can stick my panel down. So this is where I know everything goes. Now I can just wiggle it around and see how this fits. And for this space, you can leave it as is or use the smaller image that's there on the stamp set. So we'll just fill it up. Anyways, we are using the whole sheet, so might as well just fill it up. So the orientation of this doesn't really matter. You could place it anyhow. The idea here is to just fill it up. Let me see.
Let me do that.
So this is the panel where I have the two different stamps.
Okay.
So this is what it looks like. So you just have to fill the gap. You can adjust your the other platform depending on how you use the stamps. So there we go. So that's the placement. Is everyone okay so far, so good?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So now I will pick both of these up. Now, obviously, part of your stamp will be hanging off the edge. That's all right. as long as major portion of the stamp is on the platform, so it's fine. So here, part of it is hanging off the edge. Let me cover the light here and just this part of the flower. That's totally fine. Okay. I'll make sure I carefully pull it out. Okay. Now, if your stamp is new and you've not used it, it'll stick to the paper. So one easiest way to just make it clear is just rub your finger or your hand, or even take some anti-static powder on your hand, just dab it there and just remove all that stickiness. So that's the way I do it. I'll just remove all the stick. Now for this particular card, I did heat emboss all the image. So if you guys want to heat emboss, use a pigment ink. If not, use a dye ink. So I am using the obsidian black pigment ink, and I'll be using clear embossing powder over it. Now, since I am heat embossing first, okay, so I'll just make sure it's really tight and snug because we will be stamping it twice to get that crisp impression. And since this is a big image, you don't want it to be like shaking around. So I will make sure it's nice and tight. If you want, like you could just have a temporary tape or some washi tape there so that the paper doesn't peel out once your stamping is done. I'm using anti-static powder because I'll be heat embossing on this. A generous amount of that. And then
Shoot.
what happened? All good? All right. So let me just stamp this.
Sorry. I'm gonna mute myself so you don't hear my noisy heat tube.
That's all right. So for the stamping on the part that is not on the platform, just keep your fingers there and get ink on those flowers or the leaves, whichever is hanging off the edge. Now for bigger images like these, I try to get it like on the first stamping itself, like I wouldn't want to go on the second stamp, but then, well, we'll see. I try to get it done in the first try itself, just in case it doesn't align, and then, okay. There we go. Okay, guys, fingers crossed. Okay. Just do it. I'll just go lay it flat there. All right. I'll press the part on the stamp wheel as like you always do your stamping. For the parts that's hanging off the edge, very light pressure with your finger, just don't move it around. And if you feel like the stamp is too sticky, again, just get some anti-static powder on your fingers so that your fingers don't stick to it, because sometimes what happens is when you go to lift it, it might, smudge. So there, I will just stamp it there and this one here. Okay, let's see. Another way I like to do is I'll just take a cloth and just wipe it around so there's even pressure. All right, moment of truth, guys.
So everybody holds
Not
their
bad.
breath.
Okay, there is a little missing part here. It's okay, we can stamp that again. Okay. Yeah, this is the scariest part. After this, it's all easy. It's blending. So I had thought, like before the class, I'll just have a couple of panels stamped just in case I don't make a boo-boo. Then I'm like, it's all right, even if we make boo-boos, it's fine.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it again. All right.
As they say, it's just paper.
All right. So now here, you might have to give a little extra pressure because this is hanging off the edge of your stamp wheel. So I think that's why my first impression didn't come perfect. So I'll just, again, bring my towel and just press it down firmly. Whew. Not bad, right?
It's an amazingly beautiful stamp. Oh,
Yes, I know, right?
Mhm.
It's beautiful. So that's it with the stamping. Now, again, like when you're lifting it up, just slide your fingers through. If you try to pull it out just like that, it might smudge. Now here I got little smudges. We'll fix that later. Like we can hide it with a sentiment strip or some sequins. So yeah, it's not perfect, but it's beautiful. So there. We'll place all of this aside. Okay. So I am going to be heat embossing this image. If you've stamped it with your dye ink, you're good to go. So this is the clear embossing powder I'm using.
Go lay down. No. Go lay down.
Now with bigger, usually I would just, throw out the embossing powder, but with this one, I'll just tap it so that, I know that there's embossing powder sticking to every part of that image. Because this part of the image might not be as crisp as what we got here.
Go out and play.
And then I just tap on my paper to remove any excess. Okay. Let me funnel this back. Now, since this is a very big image, you would want to make sure your heat tool is really nice and hot because you want to minimize the warping as much as we can. So we will heat our heat gun and make sure it's like, give it a minute or so to heat, and then we can bring it to the paper. And then I just like to keep a towel or something, to hold the paper so that if you hold it like this and heat it, the paper tends to warp a lot. You could also keep a cork or any, something like this. It'll minimize the warping. I will start by heating at the back and then go in front. And keep it moving. Don't place it in just one place. That will again cause a lot of warping. Yeah, this definitely takes a long, long time. Mhm. Oh, I'm hoping I got all of it. Everything looks glossy. Okay. So before we bring in our stencils, I'll just give it some time to rest so that the embossing, the melting cools down. And because if you directly go to ink blend on this might smudge. So we'll give it a minute. And if you think your paper's like really warped, usually if it's a smaller panel, I just put it through my die cutting machine between the plates. Now this one definitely is a bigger panel, so just stack it under a pile of books or something heavy. And maybe 2 or 3 minutes, it should flatten out. And till then, you can work on your sentiments or create card panels. That's what I do when I'm trying to dry this or flatten it out. So mine is not as warped. It looks fine. So I'll be using the bigger mat to hold my panel down. If you guys don't have the bigger mat, you can either use your magnets to hold it down, or if not that, just tape this panel down using a washi tape or any, temporary tape. Just stick it down to your glass mat or your mat, and you don't want this to be moving around. And uh, you can also have little pieces of tape for your stencils as well. So once you place stencil number 1, you want it to be where it is so that it doesn't move around, because this definitely is a very big image. So we'll keep it as aligned as we can. So, well, for my sentiments, I cut out 4 sentiment strips, black and white. I heat embossed these using white embossing powder on black strips. If you want to directly stamp it, I would recommend stamping it using black ink. That can be done at the very end once we have all the panels cut down. Okay. Let me bring in my mat. So this is the first time I'm using this mat. For the cards that I created earlier, I just stuck the entire panel down on my surface. And let's see how this works. Like I said, this stamp set was more costlier and expensive than just the stamp set. I had to get the stamp wheel, I had to get the mat. So it's really, the stamp set turned out to be really expensive. Okay. So even if you don't place it under a pile of books, if you give it some time to cool down, I have noticed the panels do settle down a bit. Like, it's not as warped as it is when it's like fresh and hot. Hmm. All right. So this fits in perfectly. Straight. So let's start with stencil number 1, which is almost just the base layer for all these flowers. Now let's just line these up first. So I think it's just the first 2 or 3 layers. So we'll leave the smaller one for now and we'll just focus on the bigger set. So only the base layer is the first 2 layers may be a little difficult to line up, but once you have the first two layers, then layer number 3, 4, 5, and 6 are pretty easy. Okay, there we go. Everything looks fine. I'll just make sure I have some post-it notes on the edges. I don't want any of that ink to come here. And I will also cover up this part. Now for all the ink blending, I'm going to be using these small ink blending brushes. For the last layer also, I'll be using this, but you can definitely use your detailed blending brushes. It's totally up to you guys. But then I know not everybody has like all the sets, so I'll just show you with one particular set. So I'll start with, so these are the colors I'm using. I have cotton candy, coral red, and cherry sweet. I'll start with cotton candy on layer number 1. Now, how I'm doing this is, let me show you the card. So in this, if you see, I have cotton candy on the base layer, but it's not as prominent. Like, I'll have cotton candy on the mid section here, and as we move out, we'll just fade it. So we are just focusing our inks on the center, and that's with all the 3 inks. So tips are as light as possible. So if you're not comfortable with this, you could definitely use the smaller or the micro blending brushes.
This is in here.
You're starting with your lightest color for the base?
Yes, I am starting with the lightest color, which is cotton candy. And if you're using the Bubblegum Dreams, I would say start with baby pink. So whichever is the lightest pink you have, that's what we'll be using. Okay.
Yeah, that's-
All right. So I'll just show you this one flower, how I do it. I just have not a lot of ink, and I will go in a circular motion, mostly focusing on the centers. Now, if you see here, the tips of the flower is not as pink as the center. So I'll just go in a circular motion. It does not have to be like absolutely white, just a hint of color. So basically the tips of your petals are all very light to white. So that's it. So if you see, there's a lot of pink on the center and very little on the tips. Do you want me to bring this closer to the camera? Wait, I can't zoom in my camera for some reason, so I'll just bring this up. So if you see this,
Yes.
so here it's very light, almost white. It's not completely pink there, but here I have a lot of pink. So that's exactly what we are going to do with all the colors and all the layers. So if you're using this brush, just make sure you're more towards the center, and you'll get a lot more control if you're using a micro or the smaller blending brushes. Okay, so I'll put this thing back. And we'll do basically the same for all the flowers. So even on this project, if you see, the tip of the petal here is almost like, the lightest shade of pink. So I didn't bring the pink towards the very tip of the petal. Okay. And also, one other tip I would give is that try not to make every flower look the same. So if you have like a really intense center here, the adjacent flower, just add whatever ink is remaining on your brush. So, no flower looks the same. And in some flowers, make the tips pink. So that'll create more of like a depth and variation. And since this is a single layer card and you're not die cutting it, I feel this one variation will help you get that depth. Now, for example, this flower, I'll just add pink all over. So this one looks a lot different than this. And the adjacent flower, whatever ink is remaining, I'll just add that. So this video is recording. When I put it on YouTube, do you guys prefer like having it as is like a 1.5, 2 hour long video, or do you want me to like edit it and do a voiceover like a normal YouTube video?
I like the voiceover,
Voice, all right, yeah.
but that's just me.
Yeah. Yeah, 2 hours is a bit long. So the last video that I uploaded was like how we do it, and like, it was almost 1 hour 36 minutes, and I was like, okay, that's way too long.
Yeah, but you know what? If someone is they can fast forward if they want to or skip.
Yes, and also because there were many who didn't attend and they wanted to see the video, like, how we do it. And then sometimes what happens is when I go to do the voiceover, I might miss some tips like what we talk here, like, or if you guys have some tips that you share, I might miss that in the voiceover. So I'm like really debating whether I should do the voiceover or just upload it as is. Okay, now once we are done with the main image, this is what it looks like. Now we will go on to the smaller flower. We will align that. So let's see how this one goes. Okay, there we go. Again, just cover up the edges. You don't want ink all around. Even if you get ink, it's all right. We can fix it later. That I feel is like the beauty of handmade cards. Like you can have little imperfections and that's all right. All right. So that is layer number 1. Moving on to layer number 2. This again is the open layer for the remaining petals.
Yep.
Again, I'm going to use cotton candy here as well. I'll just line this up. Now, if your panel has warped a little because of the heat embossing, the stencils may not line up perfectly, but that's totally fine because I'll show you one example. So my card didn't line up as perfectly as I wanted it. So, so here in this place, you'll see some smudges around the corner.
Mm.
You really don't notice it unless you're like looking for imperfections. So, let me see.
And if my recipient's looking for an imperfection, maybe they don't need another handmade card.
Exactly. You got it.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, okay, here, this one. So this part here, the ink came out, and I was like, okay, like you said, if they notice the imperfections, then well, that's the last handmade card I give you guys. So
And sometimes it's nice. It gives it a characteristic.
yes, definitely, totally agree.
Well, it's helping me install my redneck stereo.
Good. The cat's helping my husband install his radio in his car. That's what he was coming to tell me.
That's handy.
Yeah. Who knew?
So in this second layer, you'll see these little clusters here. You can go in with a deeper pink there because those little clusters are slightly, darker as compared to the open flowers. So, I even wanted to do like a rainbow flower cluster, but I was like, okay, that'll be way too much.
No.
That'd be pretty though.
I was like, okay, should I try for a rainbow cluster? I was like, no, I don't think so.
So for the stencil 2, you're using your lightest color again?
Yes, I'm using cotton candy. Okay, so I am done with the
I'm
bigger.
gonna have to color this with some alcohol markers sometime.
Yeah.
I was thinking it might be fun to play with some watercolors,
Watercolors, yes.
Oh yeah.
but then again, I thought, maybe not. We'll start with ink.
I definitely think it would be beautiful with watercolors. Probably not if I do it with watercolors.
Well, yeah. In my mind, it looks beautiful.
Yes.
So again, I'll take the smaller cluster and add ink there. And that's layer number 2, stencil number 2. So we are still on cotton candy itself. I'm not changing the colors yet. We will bring in the darker tones a little later. So we will keep these stencils aside. So I just want to finish off with one color and then bring in the next, because with that you can actually figure out how much intensity you want. Especially if this is the first time you're using this stencil set, I think that'll help. And once you have the entire image colored in one particular set of colors, then you can move on to adding the different colors. So we will be bringing back all these stencils again.
Oh,
Oh boy. So we're still with our lightest color, correct?
Yes, we are, yes.
Okay, thank you. Falling behind.
Again, we are using the same color, but we'll have different intensity of ink on every petal. So for some, I'm adding a lot of pressure. For some, I'm just picking up a lot of ink and adding a lot of ink. And for some, I'm just, whatever ink is left on my blending brush, I'm just adding that. So every flower looks different. Now, I have the fourth stencil, which is the last for all the flowers.
Oh, I'm falling behind.
so you're on number 4?
Yes, I'm on number 4.
Oh,
Wait.
slow down,
I-
woman.
I gotta catch up.
Oh, no, take your time, take your time. I will wait. Okay. So I'm just adding the same ink on this layer as well. So we have 4 stencils that we did, and we are using the same cotton candy shade. You guys can continue so that I'll just talk. We are using the same cotton candy shade on the first 4 stencils, which is all the flowers that we are coloring on our stamped image. Now, each flower, like I said, has different intensities, so you don't have to have like exactly same looking flowers in your bundle. And again, to intensify it, for some flowers, grab in more ink on your ink blending brush. The adjacent flower, just whatever ink is left on the ink blending brush, you could do that. So for the first 4 layers, we use the same exact ink. Now, if you've used this particular stencil before, I would add all the colors in just one go. But since there were many who are using this particular set for the first time, that's the reason I'm showing you how to do it separately. But then if you've used this thing, you'll know that how you can apply the darker shades also in one go, along with the lighter shades. So since many have not used this, that's the only reason I'm taking the longer route.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
Oh, come
Okay. So the next stencil number 5 and 6 are just the branches. This particular, all the 4 stencils were just the open layers of the petals. That's why we have to go in again with these stencils. So if they had like those detailed layer stencils, that would be a lot easier. But then since these are all just open layers, that's why we'll have to go in for a second round. But I promise with the stems, I will just do everything together. So that way you'll know, like, how to use everything at once. So you don't have to bring it back and forth again.
So these are more coloring stencils rather than layering stencils.
Yes, these are more coloring.
Okay. I probably could have looked at them and figured that out.
Yeah. So when I got it, I thought maybe, yeah, it's layering. But then once I went on to the second stencil, I was like, wait, this is not a layering stencil. It's just open to color the petals. So, yeah. So then
Which
when I
I
decided, okay,
actually really like that.
yeah.
Yeah, it gives you more freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because what happens is with layering stencils, you get those details, but then I usually tend to go back with my, say, alcohol markers or color pencils to add an extra color or, that depth that I need. But with an open stencil like this, I can do it with my blending brush.
Yes. And I don't like some of the harsh lines on the layering stencils.
Yes, same.
Great minds think alike. I have a cat as well helping me color. So
My dog is sleeping, so
Yeah.
not helping me anyway. I can hear him snore, so
That's how he's helping you. He's providing that nice white noise in the background.
well, so if you guys are using stencil number 4, just this small detail has that branch here. Rest of the stencils is all flowers. Just this one part is the branch, for which I will add a little bit of brown. So for my branches, you can use any shade of browns that you have. We will just deepen the brown here. Let me just show you the card. So like in this, I have a couple of shades of browns. You could even bring in black. That'll add a shadow effect. So since these stencils are like open stencils and they are not layering, we can add any color we like. So for this one, I will bring in, say, Choco Hazelnut, which is the darkest shade of the browns that I have. This is from Desert Dream set. So I'm just adding brown over here. And don't worry, I'll wait for you guys before I move to the next step.
I'm using a fairly new brush too, so it's not loaded with ink yet.
Yeah. There we go.
Oh shoot, I forgot the brown.
So any brown would work here. If you guys want green, you could also go with green, but then these look like those thick branches. That's the only reason I went with brown. Okay.
Okay, cool.
So let me know once you guys are done with layer number 4. Don't remove the stencil yet, just leave it there. Now we will go backwards. So we'll do stencil 4, 3, 2, and 1. So we'll just keep the stencil where it is.
Okay.
And if anybody does go outside the line, if you've ever had this mono eraser, it's a sand eraser.
Sand eraser, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that does help.
Yeah.
You know,
But won't it tear the paper, Jen?
no,
It
no, I
doesn't.
got a big pink streak and it took it off.
Oh.
Yeah.
You have to be gentle. I mean, you can't
Yeah,
just go.
you don't
Yeah.
want to.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. But now I'm happy. That looks better.
It's great when
Good
you're doing
tip.
watercolor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, I was just happy I could find it. I was like, where did you go? Please let me find you.
Yeah.
I'm going slow because I'm cleaning my stencils. I like them clean and not stained.
Oh,
Don't.
But you're gonna, yeah.
Yeah, don't clean your stencils. Just leave it
You're
as
gonna dirty them again.
because we'll be using the same stencils again. So,
Yeah.
and the same color family, so it doesn't really matter. Well, yeah, even I like to clean my stencils once I'm like done with layer number 1 because I don't like to stack everything together and then crowd my sink. But then, yeah, this technique, since we are using all the colors from the same color family, I think you can not clean it. I just clean the brown here, so I don't want any of that brown coming.
That's a little freeing, actually. Yay. I don't have to clean it for a minute.
I think I'm not going to color those. Sorry.
Oh, I missed those. Oof. Missed those.
So, can I move on to the next section? Or
I'm good.
Yeah, sure.
Other people are.
so then I'll just cover up the edges.
Installed.
Good.
I was with people bother today.
It's impressive. It's impressive.
Okay. So now the next set, what we're going to do, I'm using Coral Red and Cherry Sweet, which is the next 2 colors in the set that I have. So the darker pinks you have in your stash, you could use that. Now, this is something that I could have done like stencil number 1. I could have just repeated the same exact steps. Stencil number 2, same steps. 3, same step. But then since this was the first time, I just wanted to show you guys how it looks like, without all that color. And this is what your panel looks like right now with just one set of color. And since we had like different intensities, you'll see the flowers don't look exactly the same. So now when we keep our stencil back, so when you guys are doing this again, you don't have to do it like, one color at a time. You can just do all the colors together. Okay. Now I can line this up. Oh my goodness, I seriously can't line it up. Oh, there you go. Nope, not yet. All right. So again, I'm using the same brush, the same width. You could use a mini blending brush or the smaller brushes, but I can show you both. So the idea here is to add very little color. You could alternate between the two colors just to get that variation and not have the same looking flowers on the entire set. What I'm going to do is I will say I have coral red. So I'll just pick some color and let me see an open flower to show you guys. Okay, maybe this one. I'll color this particular flower. So what I'm going to do is just add a little flicker of color right at the base of the flower. Again, we are keeping the tips as light or white as we can. So this is with a smaller brush. I will do that. And then I will take Sweet Cherry, which is the darker shade. And again, for this one, I'll just pick up as little as I can. And again, just to the center.
Okay.
There. So let me show you how my flower looks.
Ooh, pretty.
Yeah, let me just bring it a little closer. So this is how it look. I know it looks a lot red versus pink, but then once the color settles in, it will
It dries back.
look like this.
Oh.
No, it doesn't look same right now, but then.
Do you use the same brush?
And yeah, I'll show you if I'm using the same brush. I'll show you how that works. Okay. Let me just line this.
I meant for the two colors. Are you using different brushes for each
I'm
color?
using the same. So for these are like very close together. So I usually use the same, but then I do have different brushes for cotton candy, which is like a lighter pink that I have. And I use just this one brush for the darker shades. So that's more like a personal preference. Like if you like having a single brush for every shade, but then I generally have like a single brush for 3 or even 4 shades, even if they're not in the same color family. So yeah, I mean, I would use this brush for cotton candy and for baby pink. So they are the lighter pinks. I usually stick to the same brush. Okay. So that was using this particular brush. Now, if you're using the same bigger brushes that you have, again, what I like to do is add color and, oh wait, let me just line this up properly first. So what I'll do is just bring in some color and say, let's do this flower here. So I'll just bring in the tip. I'm not like, holding it like this. I'm just tilting it a bit. So, like this. So I'll just tilt it a bit. I'll grab ink on this part of the brush like this. I will not, dip it like this. I'll just hold it, tilt it like this. So in my supply list, I did have the smaller blending brushes as well, but then, well, like not everybody gets those. So yeah, so I just wanted to have like options. So I'll do the same with all the flowers and we will add the the coral red first, and then we will move on to cherry sweet. So the next time you're using this set, you don't have to like add the cotton candy first and then go to coral red, then go to cherry sweet. So you can just do all the colors together in one layer.
Yeah, it was nice to see this though. I like that. Thank you.
So I just also wanted to give you guys an option. Like if you don't like adding extra colors or multiple layers, this is what it looks like. Again, the technique is the same. Some flowers will have a lot of ink, some will have whatever ink is left on your brush. Basically, every flower should look different. So
Cotton candy's actually my mid-tone, and I used pink pearl,
okay.
and it's an orangey color, so I'm loving this. And yes, I can see why you're thinking, oh, I could do a rainbow. And I could do purple ones and I could do blue ones.
Yes. Or I could do a rainbow one.
I
Okay.
do purple on one branch and blue on another and rainbow on another. And
No. Okay, now I'll bring in the cherry sweet. Again, I'm doing the same exact thing. For this cherry sweet, you can actually skip a couple of flowers. So like, some of the flowers have like a really dark center, some don't. So you don't have to use the cherry sweet on all the flowers. Or if you want, you can use on all of them. So it's like how you prefer your card fronts to be. It's more that, depending on your coloring style. So So now if you're using the same brush for like a darker tone, and if you want to go to the lighter shade, what I do is I just rub it on a piece of cloth or even like on this paper. So, you get off that dark ink. Don't miss to adding to the little flower bundle that you have on the side. Now you can clean the stencil. So this is what it looks like.
I love it. Pretty, pretty, pretty.
So if you guys don't like the shading or the shadowing, just the one color also looks pretty.
Yeah, it does.
Now I'll do the same exact thing with all the stencils. So that was stencil number 4 that we did. I will bring in stencil number 3. The order here doesn't really matter because it's just the open spaces on the flower. So you could use any stencil. I'm just going in the order that I place the stencil on my surface. So
Space.
If y'all
Is
hear
there
weird
a
noise in the back.
like a Facebook group or a website or something that we could like put our finished cards on?
Yes, there is the Altenew fan group on Facebook, and there is what's that? It's called Altenew fan page, and
Is that for like when we take these classes?
yeah, it's not just for these classes. You could, even if you're creating anything using the Altenew products or cards using Altenew, you can post it there. And there's also one called, I think it's called Altenew Academy. I'll have to check. I'll
The
just
Crafters Gallery.
Is it the Crafters Gallery?
Yeah, on the Altenew website.
Okay.
Great place for ideas.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, you can upload your pictures on the website. Yeah, there is. Yeah, correct. You can upload your pictures there, but on Facebook, there's another the AECP family, I think it's called.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Let me check.
Did not know that.
Just finish this layer and
Just because like the last couple of classes I've taken,
Mhm.
I get so inspired that I just keep creating, and so look, I made 25 cards using this.
We've all been there. Okay. So that's my stencil number 2. I'll just check the Altenew page till then. Let me know if the screen blanks out or goes away. You guys still see the card?
Yes.
Yep.
So it's working.
And it's beautiful. I like it. I like it like that.
Here. Okay. So the
That is
first
pretty.
group is Altenew fan group. I can send a link. Let me see. Where's the chat? So this is the first. So this is where I usually post. So Altenew fan groups. Okay.
And that way we can advertise you as well.
Oh, thank you.
That's what I learned in Ravati's class.
So this one, it's called the Altenew AECP family group. This is again a closed private group. I think whoever is taking the AECP classes, they can upload it there. So it's that. Yeah, so these are the two groups where I usually upload my pictures for Altenew. Other than that, I'm not sure. So yeah, I have both the links on the chat there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now we can, I'll move on to layer number 3. This is stencil number 2. I'm repeating the same exact steps, nothing new.
Okay.
Coral red and cherry sweet. So the same exact colors.
I remember back when I first started scrapbooking, and one of my patients said, I want to start making cards with stamps and all that. I said, oh no, I'm not getting into that. Yeah.
Yeah, we all fell for that. So
Yep.
Well, I thought it was like a natural springboard from scrapbooking to this, and I much prefer this because I just do.
I like that you can do this with your scrapbooks.
Yeah,
Yes.
you can.
Because
Absolutely.
I don't want to spend any more money on ephemera when I can make my own ephemera and get the colors that I want. And if I don't want a big fat white border, I don't have to have one.
Yeah,
Bingo.
you integrate it, perfectly.
yeah. So with all your stencils, don't forget this little cluster here.
I know, I keep forgetting that. I have to go back.
I do that one first and then I don't forget.
Ah,
That's smart.
that's the way to do it.
Smart, yeah.
All right. So that is 3 layers of ink blending. This was the very first layer that we used. If you want, you can definitely skip the first layer so you have like really popping flowers. But again, if you want, you could just go ahead and do the first layer.
When I bought this set, they had a promotion to get Mindy's class.
Oh, wow.
And I haven't taken it yet. So
I haven't either, actually. Yeah, it's something to do.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the only time-consuming thing in the whole process. Otherwise, this card is really easy to do. So
Yeah, but when
thing I
you
do when I'm like in mood to relax and like, do
Yes.
things around the house.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and when you're done, you have 4 cards, right?
Yeah.
And then you get 4 cards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, apart from stamping, I feel another difficult thing would be to cut these into panels. I was like, oh, I don't want to cut this. It looks
I
beautiful.
know.
And I was like, and even my husband, when I was doing it for the first time, he's like, oh, wow, you need to frame this. And then when I cut it, he's like, why did you do that?
So this is a good segue.
Yeah. So, well, so we are done with our flowers.
Not quite.
No.
Yep. I am done with my flowers. I will just clean up my table and bring my browns out. Okay.
Oh, I missed those. Okay.
I will have my browns and greens out. So
Taking these classes definitely helps because I was like, why am I not lining these stencils up? How am I messing this up? Well, you have to reposition your stencils, and I just learned that in the last class. so I don't feel like a failure now.
My biggest takeaway from these classes is not being so heavy-handed with my ink blending, and this is a perfect exercise for that.
Mm.
Not to be such a clodhopper.
I haven't heard that phrase in a long time. Clodhopper.
Well, I'm an old gal, so yeah.
No, that I was raised with that. You know, I'm like, I just haven't heard it in so long. It was really tickled me.
Well, I'm being less of one. Oh my. Oh my.
Those are good old mice.
That's what I wanted to know.
Yes, I'm sorry. I forget my microphone's on. Yes, they are good. Oh. Okay.
While you guys are finishing up your flowers, I have some greens and browns, I would say, ready to.
So you're using more of the olivey greens? Yeah. Yeah.
I'm using sugar kelp and olive. This is
Yeah.
from Mediterranean Glow set.
Yeah, those are nice. Yeah.
So these are more like a little bit vintagey greens, I would say. It's not
Olivey
bright
green.
green and more close to the brown shade, which is what I love in my flower leaves. And for the branches, you could use any dark shades of browns that you have. I also like to bring in lava rock, which is more
A gray.
a gray, brown, black blend, I would say. So that will give the shading or shadow effect to our branches.
And what are we doing with all the little tiny polka dots?
For that, you know what, when I did this first, I didn't know what that was. So I just used brown, the same
Yeah.
cocoa hazelnut. So I was like, I mean, because yellow wouldn't show on these, and if you want to go in for a bright color, that also wouldn't show. If you don't like that, you could also use, like, at the end of when everything is assembled, you could use like gold glitter pen or something like,
Yeah, that's a lot of dots.
yeah, something like the contour, gold contour. So you could use any of the,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I
the
just
brown,
went
the
with
brown
my
makes sense.
brown. So I didn't like,
Yeah.
because
Well,
like you said, that's a lot of dots. So
Yeah.
You could do your paste, right?
yeah, you could also use pastes. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah.
Love those pastes.
Yes.
Yes, I just went through some that were solid as a rock yesterday.
Oh, that drives me nuts.
All right.
My own fault. I'm a hoarder.
I am too.
We all
I'm
are. We
guilty.
all are.
I'm guilty.
Yeah, we all are.
Do you try putting a rubber band on them?
And press and seal.
Yeah.
It's some formulas, they just don't. Once you open them, if you don't use them quickly, they're
gone.
solid. Yeah.
Planned obsolescence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now these ones, again, they are like open layers, so you won't get those details, just like we did with our flowers. Here also, we are going to add like multiple shades of the same color family to get that depth.
I'm not doing that again. All right. So put the caps on the pinks. Get out the brown.
Great.
Just cover any part where I don't want my ink.
Now, green is a color I do not have a shortage of. You're using 2 greens?
Yes, I'm using olive and sugar kelp. For a very long time, I used to call it olive.
Yeah.
Yes, it's olive.
I think is that Amy Tangerine's daughter called Olive Olove, maybe? Is that one of the reasons why it's called that? Either that or I'm making it up. I don't know.
Good story.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
No, it's she's right because I took the class that those colors came out in.
Oh,
Thank you.
wow.
Yay. It wasn't a fever dream. All right.
No. Her daughter called it Olav, and so she called it Olav as a result.
That's so cute. I like that.
So when they came out with the set, I already had Olav, so I only bought the other 3.
What color is sugar kelp? Is that more of a greener?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is sugar kelp.
Because I've got moss and forest glade.
Moss, let me see. Moss is, I think, a darker shade there. That's, yeah. Yes, you could use another color set that I like for my leaves is this one. This